and shall be added unto you.
You may be seated. Well, it's great. We've arrived in the middle of January. I find that a little hard to believe, but we are still in the month of faith. Our talk title today is Power of a Dream. And this talk came to me because tomorrow is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we're participating in that march and that ceremony. And that, when I think about Martin Luther King, his I Have a Dream speech resonates in my heart. And that dream lives with us. Anyone that aligns with that truth continues to forward that dream. And it's a big dream. And some dreams are big, and some dreams are small. But the dream is the very essence of our alignment with truth, with wisdom, with God. Now, this is different than the word we use for that dream time when we're sleeping. That's a completely different type of dream. So let's start with Martin Luther King and this quote saying, I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. When we embark on a dream, when we get that nudge, that inspiration, that hunch, it enlivens, it engages our life. Anyone have that experience? Have a dream and it lights up your life? How many of you have had a dream, a nudge, a knowing, and then didn't do it? Yeah. That can be caused because we stopped ourselves. And it can happen because other people come along and say, don't do that. That's a bad idea. You're too old. You don't have enough money. Don't waste your time. Oh, that's foolishness. Ever heard that? Yes. Well, Walt Disney, iconic American, built an empire and Disneyland, says all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. I don't know if you know much about Walt Disney, but quite a man. He came from a poor family. He worked hard. He and his brother Roy worked very hard to help with the family, and they had jobs before and after school. And continued in his life to try to achieve his dream. He was a drawer, and he did make a famous rabbit that was sold, and he lost the rights to it, and all of a sudden his business was bankrupt again. But he and his brother moved to Los Angeles, and he had some luck because he drew a particular mouse. Bringing forth, not, okay, I'm done. Bringing forth a dream. First major dream he had was to create the first full-length animated movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. $2 million. And he had people all around him saying, don't do it. This is foolish. You're going to lose all of your money. He had the courage to pursue, and that movie lives in our hearts. A great success. And he didn't stop there. He had this vision for a resort amusement area, Disneyland. He wanted to create the happiest place on earth. But then he needed some money to make it. And he pursued and he knocked on doors. 300 rejections. And yet it still got built. Because if you have the courage behind your dream, anything is possible. Which brings us to this wonderful quote by Walt that says, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible." And you might say, it's not possible to do the impossible. Of ourselves, that might be true. But aligned with God, anything is possible. This is supported in Scripture. Mark chapter 10, 27. Jesus looked at them and said, "For mortals it is impossible, but not for God. For God all things are possible." And lucky for us, not only are we having this human experience, the human experience that is it's possible, but we have boundaries. We have limitations. When my mom was visiting, she could get that thing that was right there. It was easy for me to get it right there, but she couldn't get it. She was limited. But in God, all things are possible. So we've got that step stool built within us. Not so that we can reach up to the high things, but so we can reach up for the high ideals. The power of a dream. A dream when we connect deep within ourselves. Because Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founders of Unity, said that each of us is a truth student. And each one of us must know our truth. And when we drop into that knowing of truth, we're one with our Christ consciousness. And there, the dream can guide us to the next step, the next step, and the next step. Now, there are plenty of examples of people in our history who've done things way beyond the possibility. Martin Luther King is certainly one of those individuals. Another one is Harriet Tubman, born a slave, and she had a vision, a dream of freedom. She wanted to be free. And here she says, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, the passion to reach for the stars and change the world. Now, it is tenacity that this woman achieved her own freedom. But she didn't stop there. She came back, and in her life, she helped 70 other slaves achieve freedom against everything that was against that. It was impossible. But the possibility didn't live in her limitation. It lived in her dream. The power of a dream. There's another individual who has found her way into every one of our living rooms. Oprah Winfrey. Who certainly in her beginning, there was nothing in her stars that said, you are going to be in everyone's living room. You're going to be guiding people on what to read. You're going You're going to lift people's hearts. You're going to change the world. And yet, here she says, the key to realizing a dream is to focus not on success, but significance. And then even the small steps and little victories along the path will take you on greater meaning. This is powerful. We would be wrong to say that based on Martin Luther King didn't achieve his big dream, he was a failure. But we and he in his life could see that he did great work, achieved huge advances, and that dream is still present for equality and freedom. The same equality and freedom that Harriet Tubman worked for in her life. A big dream. Jesus fought the same dream. It's a big dream, and it is unfolding, creating, and we know its significance. So any step that works towards we're all equal is part of its unfolding. In our life, we can create and focus on a dream. We have a congregant and member who's very close to my heart, Joan Kemple. And for a while, she had the dream. She was living right here in downtown New Braunfels. And she wanted nature. She wanted to be able to get up and look out and see trees and mountains and water and life that she couldn't have in her little apartment here. And so she went to Colorado and she thought, am I moving back to Colorado? There's a lot of nature here. She came back, she said, no, it's not Colorado. But then she found a home at Canier Lake, one that she's moved into and says, I don't need to move in from here again, because she looks out and she can see life. She's got a clear view of the lake and trees, and her heart is filled with gratitude because we can see and affirm that this vision has happened in her life. Is she done yet? No, Joan is not done yet. But what a great achievement to realize a dream, to feed us. So I bring this discussion, this talk to a close, returning back to the wisdom of Martin Luther King Jr. He says, you can kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. The dream is God. The dream is the truth beyond truth. The dream is connecting with the wisdom that controls the universe. We dream. We connect with that truth, and we do what is ours to do. But the dream doesn't die. And we're here to live a dream. And as people of unity, we have our own vision and mission of what we want to do in the world. And we do it because it's the power of our dream. So align with your truth. Step into that dream. And don't let the naysayers have any credit. They're entitled to their opinion, but just because they say you can't do it doesn't mean it can't be done. Let your heart be your guide and know the truth. Thank you. Thank you.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.